Hello, welcome back to the Research Cat. We are doing a Let's Play of Oxygen Not Included. Once we get loaded up here, I'll just go over some of the basics of where we were for those that are new here. And if you're not new here, I will talk about what we are focusing on next. So we have our water here, and actually let me get this started so that they can just kind of move along and do their things. We're putting in a kitchen. We have a dirty water tank, which we plan to put in here because I got to get rid of this water here. We're putting in our power, which is going to go on 3 separate circuits. Let me show somewhere in here. I should probably know these panels better, right? Oh, there we go. So I have one circuit from this machine that is coming down into our oxygen because our oxygen's out, but it's also going to power the kitchen. And I have one circuit here, which is going to the pump for the vertical farm and for the research stations. Once we get this one totally working, I'll disable the mouse wheel so we're not losing time just running on the hamster wheel there. And we have one which doesn't have a circuit yet, but it will be for the manufacturing layer. This is pretty cold up here, so I'm counting on the heat here to start to keep that cold from getting down into the base. We're actually getting cold going this way into the base, and on the other side we have cold coming up, but we got heat over here and I have heat down below as well. So we're having some potential temperature problems which we need to kind of take care of. We found in the last episode somewhere down here we found a steam vent, which is pretty hot. This is pretty hot water. We have to get down to it before we run out of water up here. But I'm also setting up some water tanks for a polluted water, which I want to set up some trees because these trees aren't going to grow. They were planted by my pips, and some gray water, which has been cleaned up and can be used for things such as the computer, for instance, and we'll then disable this part here, and they can do the same with the sinks. So it doesn't need to be, and the flush toilets. We don't need to use clean drinking water for that, because we do see our water slowly dropping down. Right now the water is primarily being used for our farms. That we created this little pump section that comes through to try to recycle the water to keep the water in good shape. So today what we're going to do is try to get the kitchen together, and I'd like to find out what the vent is doing on over here and up here. I'd like to get up into here. Get the compost together. We have a nice little park here, but I would also like to do if we can get any more of the oxygen plants down here. Okay, so we'll see how this goes. I think, what are people doing right now? He's picking up water. Max is busy doing, I think last time we set up that we put in the priorities where you can assign priorities, and Max is cleaning up the base. That is his entire job right now. Putting stuff into storage and getting the base cleaned up. I actually should put some lights in too. I don't know. I do have them. So let's put a light in here. And we should also probably set up, I think we'll just keep it at that for the moment. We also have a little, we put a door in here to keep this pufflet from creating slime. We're digging out the algae as we need it. We found this little spot here. And we have these areas here which we can get into that will help cool the base off. And that will let us get into the hot areas without a massive amount of problem. And it looks like, yes. So we just need them to kind of get some work done. Let me connect the power here onto that circuit. And then I think we've already checked the art. Let me check down here for the art. Yes. So I think what we're going to begin working on is the research for the machinery, although we're not actually going to create it. This is the water sieve for our water tanks. This turns the slime into algae that we talked about last time. And I am not actually going to be using these things yet, but we'll have them researched. I was trying to decide what would be more. This is new. I don't know how to use this. This is in the latest update. Well, this will be a little challenging. All right. Well, let's make another priority, but let's first check in our skills panel who's our builder. I want to say it's Camille, not Camille, it's Gossman. So I'm going to set up a priority for Gossman to build so that she's not busy doing anything else. Just build, please. Because once we get the kitchen together, I can set up a, probably down here, I'm going to set up a eating room. And I can set up some oxygen. Our oxygen should be getting better. It is. It's not great, but it's much better than it was. Because it was looking pretty sad there for a while. We also have a lot of these things coming together. And we're going to have more pretty soon. Actually, I have someone on digging too, don't I? On my skills. I have Ren. I have Ren. Okay. So in this part, because we have the basic base together, we've addressed oxygen, we've addressed food. We're doing okay in food, not quite where I would like to be, but we're doing okay in it. What I would like to do is be working on setting up some of the priorities now, because now it becomes more of management as well. So Max is on supply, Gossman is on building. Let's get Ren on digging here. And let's start getting that digging out as well. The more duplicants you bring in, the easier it is to assign priorities, and the harder it is to keep track of them, and your requirements go up as well. The food will eventually start to become a problem here because it's unrefrigerated, so I want to move it down into here, but I have to actually get them to do this. And I don't know. We have some people working because this is only because of our schedule that we set up. Okay, good. So Ren is now starting to dig it out. And then Gossman is here, and she is building. And then we have one cleaning up, which is good. And pretty soon we should have some more narcoleptics with any luck, and we'll bring some more people in, although it occurs to me I don't have a bedroom for them. So we will put a bedroom in right here. I think one of the challenges in this particular game is keeping everything, anticipating what problems that you have, because by the time you have the problem, it's really too late to address. You pretty much have to have addressed it ahead of time. So we're going to put a bedroom in here. I would like to have it be on the same level as this one, but I don't want to kill the tree. So to keep the tree alive, we're going to do that. And then I'm going to dig this out eventually because I'm going to have manufacturing there. So I'm going to just prepare now and put the tiles in place for airflow. That's the smart battery. We can't build that yet. That's the jukebox. I'm not going to worry about that right now. That's the power control station. I don't even know how to use that. This is kind of a big bedroom. It doesn't actually have to be this big. Well, you know what we'll do? We can have people who like each other. They can share here. That way we can put 2 more people in place. We'll check our blueprints. We do not have any narcoleptics, although this one would be actually pretty good with the night owl and things. I already have enough pipsqueaks, so I'm just going to take the food. If you want a little harder experience, you can set it up in the beginning part, and you can say that you would like to not have these printables, so that every 3 days you'll get just people, not any of the extra resources. But it does give you a much harder experience, because not every map has all of the biomes. And so you'll have materials that are simply not available on this map that are on other maps. And this will allow for your this allows you to have access to those materials. It's particularly important on some of the harder maps. And then we're also going to set up well, forget that. The problem with making these things is, if you look, it's really a terrible meal. And these are great meals, but we don't have access to it yet. The reason it's showing up is because over here to the left this is the wheat, and we would have to get over into this food. And I'm not up to that yet. Now, the problem that Gossman has is she has just made herself, she cannot now get into the base. So I'm going to pause here for a moment, because she's going to end up dying. And then I'm going to have to prioritize this right this instant to get her out of here. And everybody should stop their tasks. Oh, she just went in. They can get through here. Well, we're going to fix this anyway, because they're going to close this out and then die. I didn't think they could get through a one, right? I didn't think they could get through a one thing, because they're too high. That's weird. Well, let's get this fixed so that we don't get any trapped duplicates down here in the bottom of the base. Okay, good. I feel somewhat better. And this was going to be for the seeds. It's in a locked thing because these pips will come and steal the seeds and plant them. This door should help prevent it. We have a baby pipsqueak. See, they're very cute. All right. This thing's cute too, but it also gives poison, so. I like this style of animation. It's pretty funny to watch them go around and do their things. I also think that we should give this room here, if I look, it doesn't have any bonuses because it's lacking a decor item. So what I need to do is put in some artwork. Let's put in a pair of pillars and a pot. They'll have to build this, and then we have somebody running around that's an artist, and then they will fix this up. I think also we can make the bathrooms look better now. And we'll put in a corner molding, and we'll put in another corner molding over here. And then we'll put the crown molding across, and this way they can have a nice fancy bathroom for the moment. Eventually I'm going to make these into flush toilets, but I don't want to do that till I've gotten a handle of the water. So we can create lice loaf, which is terrible. It doesn't give us any bonuses, but they shouldn't get sick on it, and it doesn't give us a terrible thing. It's going to use up a little bit of water, but but it will give quite a bit of nutrients. It's a pretty good ratio. You can always do mush bars, which are dirt, and it also gives okay, but they'll get sick on it unless you grill it, because then you can create over here. I don't have any right now, but you can create fried mush bars, and then they're less likely to get sick on it. But we're just going to create this, and they can do it when they get up to it. I'm not overly concerned right now as long as I have. If I drop under 20,000, then I start to worry, because I may not have. If it goes lower than 20,000, by the time there's an issue, it may be too late. If I can bring in another person, I'll get someone working on the farm full time. One of the challenges in this particular game is that as your base grows and you've been succeeding, it rewards success with a higher management issues, and that can sometimes result in not being able to keep track of what's going on. So you have to kind of pay a little more attention to here. So what I'm going to do, I put on all the food, so I'm going to disconnect this, get rid of that, and I'm only going to put the edible food. We're going to not have the stuff that is ingredients. So we're just going to put the edible food in here. And because of the high priority, they should get around to do that pretty soon. So that will be taken care of. The long commute's coming up because the base isn't organized correctly yet. There's different ways to deal with that. You can speed up by having a different type of ladder in, but that requires plastics, which we won't have for quite some time. So the better thing to do is to just have them be able to work so that the food is close to the where you're going to be cooking it, which needs to be close to where they're going to eat, and then it cuts down the travel time that they have to do. We have our seeds going in here. Okay, that's good. And they did finish this off, so they would have been trapped, probably, because I think they're kind of stupid. I'm also going to dig this out. I'm still amazed they can go down and fit through a 1. I mean, here they could because there's 2, but that surprises me. Something new every playthrough. And then we can actually put in as well the pumps, and they can build them when they're dry. And that way the stress, we can try to keep that stress low. Gossman has stress due to low morale. We'll try to fix that as we can. We can also put in a plant to make it look better. And with refrigerated food, this food shouldn't go bad now. An alternate way that you can do it is you can put the food into chlorine gas, but then you have to build some sort of a airlock to make sure that the gas doesn't escape into your base. So this works out fairly well. She probably has high stress because she's working really hard. But cleaning this up means we should get another morale bonus. Maybe. You need 4 plants. We're going to dig this one out, so I don't know if that's actually going to work or not. It works right now, but it might not later on. We need to build these ladders out so they can access down here. And then we're going to set this up for polluted water. I'm going to put it up at 6, so it's not as a priority as, say, the food and the fresh water, but it will help clean out the bathroom a little bit, and that'll keep water in one area. We don't have to go down into the polluted water right now. And we can start figuring out the tree farm, which I think I'll put in somewhere here. Perhaps. I sometimes watch people online and they have really nice bases that are all organized beautifully, and mine typically have little problems where the floors don't line up quite right. So mine always looks just a little odd to me. You know, if I make this into their dining area, I could put a door right there. I think I will do that. So you just deconstruct what you built and you decided you didn't want to build. And then we'll put a room in here. And actually, we'll just have it go over. There's no reason not to. And we'll put in a airflow tile here. And I'm thinking we'll put in this here. No, I can't because there's something in the way. I'll put this here as well. One thing with giving yourself an extra space here, I need to give myself an extra space up here as well, is I'll be able to run a fire pole, and that will also help them move pretty fast when we get around to it. They're doing a pretty good job now of starting to dig things out. Oh, and we have some extra, I didn't mean to make that a close-up. We have some extra things now that we can put in. We're going to dig up quite a bit of raw minerals and metal, so we'll make some extra there. Oh, excuse me, we'll take that one out and we'll put this on metal ores. This one here, yes, so they got cultivatable soil there. So if we need to, we can put in, is this one filled? Almost. So we'll put in a couple more up here. I'm also happy to have this water out of here, although we need to get some more out of it as well. You know, I'm going to actually move that. And okay, we'll do it that way. It looks a little funny. Oh, I'll have to move this too. It looks a little funny to me, but I just lost all my seeds down there. But I think it should work. Because I'd like them to be able to get from place to place. Now, this is not big enough for a grand hall. We'll put a grand hall in later, but right now I want, and it looks funny. Oh well. But I would like a, actually, I need to do this too. But I would like an area for them to be in where they can just sit down here. So we'll give 4. That'll be 8 people. And then we're going to put in, I'll show you the requirements for the grand hall, but we're going to put in a light. Oh, I always look for lights under power. It just feels like that's the correct thing to do, and it's not. They're under furniture. And then I'm going to run these lights. I'm going to grab it from the nearest, which is this one. For that. And then we'll put the seeds back in place there. And let's also dig that out. We might have to clean this up later. Um, we might have to drop this tank down. I don't know. We'll have to, I'd like to figure. I'd like to clean this up, but I also don't want to deal with it right now. So I'm just gonna let it go, and then at some point we're gonna come back and fix that. Let's look at our skills first. Abe is gonna go with farming. He's got great morale. Gossman did not have good morale, but actually her morale looks okay to me. So I'll have to go back and see what's going on with her stress. And we'll look at our printables. We have a narcoleptic here, so we're going to bring Joshua in. He has increased strength and he's immune to food poisoning, which is great. And we have a bed for him. And Joshua is a constructor. I'm good with having another person for construction. And we should be able to assign now someone on the, you know, we really got to fix our power up here, so why don't you do that? And let's set up a priority for, who was our farmer? I believe that was Abe. Let's have Abe just work on farming. We can put people into power supply, for instance. And actually, to help move, we should probably run the ladder straight down. Okay, and then to make the bedrooms be better for their morale, I hit the wrong key. We are going to put some artwork in, just like they have these little artworks here. And this gives them a morale bonus when they're in that room. To help manage the stress. So we're going to do the same thing and put in a simple pillar here. Later on, we can change this into something better. We can put in paintings. We'll do something else. But right now, we'll just put in these. And they're digging away, which is great. And they dug this out, which is excellent. So we should probably, how are we doing with digging this way? Now, they'll be doing this next. With any luck. And now that we have some power going on here, we can just disable this building. I don't want to deconstruct it because I might need it later for an emergency. There's no reason to deconstruct it right now, but I don't want them running on the wheel when we have power going on. And they're doing a pretty good job at cleaning up. Max here has been doing a really nice job of filling up these containers and cleaning up the base. I've played around before with having right from the beginning this working, but I typically need my people to make sure that if we're just clean up the base right from the beginning, it does tend to stay cleaned up. But also the problem is they don't always get enough work done. If we don't need this wheel, I can run this ladder straight up. But we'll just wait for the moment on that. And I'm going to start the manufacturing layer. I don't have enough of the refined metals. Well, I don't have any refined metals. And I'll need to refine the metals in order to create some of the higher end items. I can also dig this straight across. and that will help with our movement a little bit. Our oxygen is starting to look better. So what we should probably work on now is getting together some sort of an oxygen system. I said that I was going to show the morale bonuses. If you want to put in, say, a mess hall, you need no industrial machinery and the mess hall there with the with just the mess table. But if you want to go with the Great Hall, which gives a much better morale, this is morale 3, double the morale, you need 20 decor for that. Now the lights give a bonus to decor items, so if we put in, I'm going to hold on this for a moment till they build this out, but we can put in a large pillar, and then with the lights, and we put in some crown molding, for instance, we won't be able to put it in this corner, or perhaps some paintings, we should be able to make this even into a grand hall. Okay, and hopefully we are, once we get up here, I'm not too worried right now about, and they won't be able to actually dig. Oh, this is neutronium. I can't actually put this ladder here. Well, okay. Because they can't dig through neutronium no matter how good they become. So, we'll dig this one out, and then I'll put the ladder next to it. Okay, we'll try that, because I had basically an impossible dig. And they're still getting a bonus for going in here, which is excellent. I kind of hate to give them any more big tasks, and I'd really like to get over into here, so perhaps what we should do is a little exploration here. This does get a little hot, so let's do a small dig. It does risk the slime. Okay. And then we can put in a ladder here. I don't want to go, well, maybe I should, because even if I don't know quite what I'm going to do with it, I do know I'm going to need power, and I do know that I'm going to need plumbing coming up. You know, I think I'm going to move this down to the bottom. I'll have to connect into something, and I will have to do the same with the plumbing connecting in. But this way, when they go down, they're just going down once. It'd be best if we had exosuits when we do this, but there is no way that I'll get to exosuits before I'm going to need new water. So we still have the oxygen to deal with. The compost heap is over here, but we're keeping that out of in here. They can't get up this ladder until we fix that. So I guess this is as good a time as any to start figuring out the oxygen. That's ventilation. We're going to need a gas pump and a gas filter and then a gas pipe. So when you look at the gas filter, right, and it gives me a little clue here. So what I'm going to need, I think, is to set this up that air comes inside the filter and runs, no, air comes from the pump into the filter. And then we're going to have an output. We're going to have gas that we wanted is going to come up here, and gas that we didn't want, which will be anything but oxygen, is going to come down here. And I'll have that vent down into here because it's going to be mostly carbon dioxide with a little polluted oxygen, and we'll let the plants clean that up. I'll need electric for that. When I'm starting to run this, that's because the farm will be together down here, and that means that we can turn off this. We're going to run out of algae over there in a moment anyway. We didn't have that much algae there, and so we'll either have to go on a hunt for it, or we're going to have to get this together. We did dig that up, so let's get that one planted. Okay. And so we can put on, it would get to be a little bit much on the circuit, but by the time this starts running at full speed, this will no longer be there. She's hungry, she's holding her breath, and she needs sleep. Excellent. So one place that we can run the air, that we know that we're going to need to run the air, is down to here. So I'm going to put one there with a ventilation pipe. They can essentially just walk right past the pipe, so that's not a problem. We have some lights on. And we're going to plan this to be oxygen. So our filtered gas is going to be oxygen, and everything else will be out. You can set this up so that you can select, for instance, hydrogen before. I've used that where you're collecting hydrogen from different areas and you're just sending it over to a hydrogen generator. So you can set this up with different gases that you want. We're going to keep it on oxygen, and if they ever build this out, it looks like enough of this will be built that it can do an output. So let's do that. We'll need both of these fixed. Because right now it won't run even with the pipes because it's blocked over here with the output. We need both outputs for it. Now we could just take it, this is pretty good gas right here of oxygen, so we could simply take it and just pump that all through the base, but I'd rather get it set up now for future. And then Ren will do the super hard digging, which means we can finish up this over here. Okay, we need even one more yet. Oh well. We're getting there. It's come a long ways from where we're going. It gives you a nice sense of satisfaction, right? When you're able to build a base and keep it up for a while. Curative tablets are good, particularly because we're going to go through the slime, and we don't have narcoleptics, so we're going to take that. That also means that we need to set up another refrigerator. That's under food, I think. So that we can put our medicines in here. We should we'll move this probably at a time when it is, when we get a sick bay together. I don't know where I'm going to put the sick bay. I don't really want to put it over here, but I do want to turn this into another nature preserve. I like to set up as many nature preserves as I can, just for the morale bonus. I'm not planning to connect that quite yet. We do have better oxygen there. It still looks pretty sad though, because our oxygen has unfortunately gotten up into here. So, but we are sending oxygen there. What we really need to do is we need to get this oxygen that is stuck up here down. So I'll just have to continue my ventilation system here. So I'm going to put the ventilation system here, so it blows into the rooms. And there. And then I suppose we should have one come down here by where the kitchen area is, and one in the break room in the corner, and then probably one in the science area. I think he can be on the ground. I don't see why it couldn't be. And should have one. I should have one in the bathroom, but I'd have to. I don't know if I want to do that. We'll do those for the moment, and then we have to have the vent here. And I do think, yes, okay. There is this little problem here. Well, I'm sorry. Try not to die on me. And our stress is going to go up because she's taking damage in hot water. But this is a one-time thing. We just have to get through this. And then I got to get your medical together. Huh. She's like, no, we're done. Well, maybe. I'm hoping that with this air going into these places, into the oxygen, it will force the carbon dioxide down. Still kind of have to get the air out of here. I'll worry about that pretty soon. We'll get these. These are the first two of the industrial line. This whole line is all industrial. And then we'll get the fire pole 2 to help our movement. And I think I am going to, go ahead and actually deconstruct that thing that I said I wasn't. I've changed my mind. And I'm going to run then the ladder straight up. We probably don't have enough oxygen here for this to work. Well, we do. The problem might be down here. They can overpressurize because we're sending right now all of the oxygen into this area. We kind of need to get the rest of this ventilation system together. And then I'm going to need a return from up here. So I guess I'll go ahead and get that done. These are like the ethanol, which is good, but we're not going to use that right now. So let's put a gas pump up here because that's where we have some of our oxygen collecting. And I don't really care about the filters at this moment. I just want what's carbon dioxide will naturally go down. So I guess I do want a filter up there. In order for them to dig it, well, here, I did say that I thought this was a good game for logic and puzzle solving. What we're witnessing here is whether my logic and puzzle solving can handle it. We'll put a gas filter there. Because what I was thinking is I don't want, if I get, say, chlorine or hydrogen, which will come up to the top, I don't want to necessarily send that down through the base. So I think I only want to send oxygen down through the base. So air comes into the gas pump and goes over into the intake of the filter, and then comes out of the filter and is going to come down I don't know what happened there. Down. Through here. Into here. We'll need the bridge to line up with the intake and outtake. And then we'll need the vent there. This way we can return oxygen down through here. We'll need power. I'm going to send it down along the return. Oh, I cut my power. And I'm going to connect it to this circuit. My circuits are eventually going to need probably redone with better wires. But right now I gotta fix up. I cut the circuit when I cut the floor. And what is going on down here? We have a leak. Well, that's not really good. Oh, gotta mop my liquid up. Did I cut a plumbing pipe? I probably did. That would be where that would come from. I did. I cut the plumbing pipe right across here on the return, and then it spilled down into the base. So that means here I need to put a pump. And I got to keep that oxygen going, so we're going to have to. We have to fix that first. All right, we can bring our speed up. We can look at the colony achievement. And I need people to finish this. I'm sorry, but I need this done. Aha, someone's coming. This way we can have 2 people burning. Good. With that done, we can eventually get the pipes again, but we don't have to go down into the hot water. So that will be good. This is going to start filling up, so we'll use this for us up here. So I guess what we're going to be doing next time is we're going to be working on this air system to get the air system together, and we do have again the plumbing working, but we also are going to have to try to get our plumbing system together. But I'm also hoping that we can get into here and get some exploration done here. There's some slime here, and it looks like we're going to have another cold biome over here. Well, I mean, it's cold anyway, but for that, really this is a weird map because what it is just cold. You got some heat up here. There's hydrogen and chlorine. We can send this ladder straight up. The ladder, I'm pretty sure, can be built over all of this piping. Can't be built over the filter, but it's one space. I don't know. I don't know if I can actually build that there. We will find out. Maybe what I should do is, since none of it is built, I'll just move this. Let's put, it's 2 spaces out, so in order for them to build, we can build this straight up, and then one, two, well, they're still gonna have to build this. And they can reach out 2 spaces up, so I'll put that there. This platform is going to be necessary so we can reach everything, but this platform is the one that will go up. There's oxalate up here, and then we can actually get up into whatever this is up here. And in fact, we'll start preparing for that. We have another skill. This will give us our best decorations that we can get. So we're actually doing okay. So next time we'll work on the air, we'll get the plumbing together. As these 2 plumbing tanks get together, I can also then change out the toilets, and then we won't have this polluted oxygen going into here. And I have another morb. And I'm really sorry about this, but that morb has to die because I cannot have that polluted oxygen and germs getting throughout the base. It's unfortunate. On the other hand, because I killed the morb, we can have some barbecue. So, actually, whenever an animal dies, let's just set it up so that we'll have barbecue then. Because the barbecue is actually quite good for them. All right. And then in here, we'll put the medicine. And we'll set that up. I don't want to lose the medicine for anything. And I'm doing my 1 more turn, and it's never going to end. So we'll add extra strength. And then next week, I will see you again. With any luck, if you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know that you like it. You can put any comments below, and I will talk with you next time, and we'll see how far this happens to go. I think this is our 4th video, so my goal is to get out to 10. If I did if I did 10 videos of this, that would be farther than I've ever managed to go in my life before everybody dies. So that's my goal here, is to get. I don't need to win the game. I just would like to get 1 more hour past what I've been able to do, which is 10 hours here. All right, take care, and I'll see you next week.